Vang. This is General Joe Potter, and as you know, most of you know, I worked with General Vang Pao for many years as his personal advisor at his request. And I am working very hard to get a bill passed so that we can have national recognition, high honors, and respect after 38 plus years of the SGU and our other Asian allies. So just two days ago, I received a message that the Senate has already talked about this and President Obama supports it. And so that means I'm working with my congressman who is on the House Veterans and Military Affairs Committee that will be the ones who will make those changes and amendments and pass it in the House. Once it passes the House, it goes to the Senate, they work out any differences, and the President will sign it. So I'm so encouraged that this is going to happen this year. And I've talked to a number of SGU, and I'm heartbroken to say that so many SGU have passed away, including General Vang Pao. But this was his vision, and this is what we worked on together while he was alive. And we worked out the strategy. So I am here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the National Hmong SGU Recognition Day. And we have had a great celebration. We have talked about all of these issues. We have pinned on medals. The Department of Defense has recognized our allies throughout the Vietnam War. And our most fiercest ally was General Vang Pao's army, secret army, and Bill Lair fighting in the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And most Americans, veterans, Vietnam veterans like myself, I spent many tours in Vietnam, and I flew over 400 combat missions, many battles, but I never knew about the Lao Hmong and the SGU until after the war. That's how secret it was. And once I did, I learned how fierce, how courageous the General Vang Pao and his army was, and what you did. And so I am here to support you in every way and work on that bill. And now that we've got the Department of Defense dedicated to honor our Asian allies, including the SGU, during the Vietnam War, we have now had 2 ceremonies that have made national news and brought attention focused on the SGU. If Bill Lair could be here, he would be. But as you know, he's very frail, but he loves the SGU, and he's working with me and General Secord, and we're working on that bill. And I will continue to work on that bill because my congressman is on that committee of the House. The Senate is already ready to support. The President is ready to support. So all we need is to get the House Veterans and Military Affairs together and work out the differences and amendments so that that can happen after so many years of not receiving the recognition that you deserve. So I will continue to work that, and I'm hoping that we will have this finished this year. Once I get that bill number from Congress, I will let every leader in the SGU know what that number is. Your job will be to contact your congressman, and tell them, please, here's what I did during the war. Here is the registration card that General Adelholt, General Secord, and Bill Lair worked out. I put that card together. And on one page, it summarizes what you did during the war. If you were wounded, if you were captured, if your relatives were killed, whatever happened, you put on that card. And you make sure that you keep the original, but you take pictures of anything that you have, you send them into the Department of Defense, you send them to your congressman, you make copies, but keep the originals, because those are important when we have hearings. Once those hearings are done, the door shuts, and then it's up to Congress to do whatever they're going to do. But it's been the vision of General Vang Pao, our father, who had this vision, and we've got to finish that vision, because he was the father of the Hmong and the SGU. And Bill Lair, I want this to happen before he passes away. And so we need to get this pushed through. And so I thank you for your support. I will work every day, every night to help get this bill passed. But what you're waiting for right now is for me to get that bill number. The Senate bill number, by the way, is Senate Bill 900, but it's not up to the Senate to start this. They've already kind of started on their own. But what it does is it puts pressure on the House of Representatives, this Armed Services and Veterans Committee. And once it puts pressure on them and they see how many congressmen, bipartisan, both sides of the aisle, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, and I'm talking to both sides. And once we get that bill number from the House, then that's the bill you start writing your congressman. And you send him this registration card. You get your neighbors, your American neighbors, Caucasian, the white Hmong, and your relatives, and everyone you know in your neighborhood, at school, and doctors, and anybody that knows you, to send those letters and make sure they get to your congressman. Send pictures so that they can personalize what you did, or what your grandfather did, or what your father did during the Vietnam War in Laos. And General Vang Pao had an army of over 55,000. He lost over 35,000 for us, for the United States. And so you paid in blood to be here in this country, to become an American, to give your children and your grandchildren all the opportunities that democracy and freedom gives them. And you fought your way here. You're just as American as I am. We're our brothers and sisters. And so now is the time for you to give me that support and give your leaders that support so that you can get this bill passed. And we're doing it for General Vang Pao and Colonel Bill Lair. Thank you very much.